Hello everybody. This time I'd like to tell you a bit about the visual differences that affect many people on the spectrum, whether they're children or adults. They aren't the sort of differences that get picked up in an ordinary eye test. So many people and parents are actually unaware that their child has them or that such things even exist. And yet they're commonplace. Some people suffer from visual stress, and that can actually make things like reading very difficult indeed, because the words seem to move about on the paper. But generally, for people on the spectrum, the problems are more severe, as are the effects. So, what sort of thing am I talking about? I'll just touch upon a couple of items. The first is photophobia. That itself is a very misleading word because this isn't a phobia. It's because the eyes can't actually cope with bright light, that the person then gets a visual distortion of some sort, making it very hard for them to see. If you take a look at the picture of the umbrellas, which this one isn't by Renoir, it was actually done by some friends of mine. But if you take a look at that picture, you'll be able to see the faces very clearly. But watch what happens if we put some bright light on it. As you can see, the faces sort of fragment because the details are lost. Not all of them, but enough to make it look very bizarre. It's similar to when you drive through a tunnel and coming out into the other side, into bright sunlight, you may take a few seconds before your eyes adjust. And during that adjustment period, things will look a little strange. Now take a look at the second picture, where the light is even brighter. There, as you see, some of the faces have disappeared completely. And that makes life incredibly difficult. Imagine being a child in a classroom, sitting next to someone and not actually being able to see their face or the expressions on their face. Imagine going out into the playground where lots of other children are running around and you can't even see a single face. They're just blank. That face blindness is incredibly frightening and frustrating to live with, because it means you have to find other ways of identifying people, whether it's by their smell, by getting very close to them, or perhaps even by the way their clothes move. It's a bizarre world that most of us will never experience. But that is just one of the problems. And there are actually many, many more. For now, I'll just show you one more problem. And it comes in this video clip of a young man with autism who is being assessed at the Sensory Processing Centre in Newcastle. The clip is being used by kind permission of the research optician Ian Jordan, as this is actually a field he specialises in.
What happens to people's faces when you look at them?
Their eyes and everything's in the wrong place.
Right, and what do you feel about that?
Scared.
What happens to your mummy's face?
It's all like, it's all in the wrong places.
Was it scary?
Yeah.
And what happened? So did you feel scared by your mummy?
Mhm.
How do you feel about that? Does it feel different? Is my face different? Is it better? Is it worse? Right. How's now? My face?
It's normal.
Is it all normal? Is that good?
The
Yeah.
eyes just not going down there anymore.
They're not going down there anymore,
No.
right? What happens if I make it a bit darker like that? Is that better?
No.
Well, is it better if I put some red in as well with it? Oh,
Whoa, that's funny.
oh.
Yellow.
Yeah, look at my face now. What's that my face like now?
No.
It's normal. So it's the blue that makes my face look horrible, is it? That's weird, isn't it? Could you...
Yes, normal for once.
Oh, can I switch to blue and see what happens? Can I look at my face? Watch it. To blue. What happens? What's happened?
Scary.
It's gone scary. Well, have a look at it again. Watch it now. Tell me what changes. Tell me what changes.
Her eyes is down there.
Now look.
It's fine.
Just watch your fingers and do both hands. Move them fast. Yeah, move really fast. Oh, what's that? No, don't do your arms. Just your fingers. Just your fingers. Watch your fingers. What happens if I do this to your fingers?
Oh.
What happened? What happened?
It's scary.
What happened to your fingers?
We're going all funny
What happened? How did it go funny?
because they're sticking out.
They're sticking out a long way, are they? That's on. Right, now what happens if I do this? Look at the stairs. Now,
We can mark down easier.
go on, try. What's the difference there?
Yeah.
That was good. Well done.
That's amazing.
What happens if I do that?
It's much gooder.
Is it? And how
How's
much?
it different?
Well, it normally used to be down there, but your eyes used to be down there, but it's not. It's not.
It's not now.
How much better is it? Is that much?
Yeah, it's great. More better. I would say more better.
Really?
Yeah. You happy now?
I can't believe that.
Look at the mouth. Watch your mouth. Talk
My
fast.
mouth- My mouth okay.
Now what happens if you take it off and talk?
When we were driving down here to
Scary, kinda.
Yeah. Is that, how much better is it?
Good. Brilliant.
Right.
What's your face like when you look at it?
Scary.
What's scary about
Like,
it?
like it's the same as yours. Like what happened to yours?
When you look at your own face,
Mhm.
what happens?
It's the same as your one.
What happens? Can you tell me what that is?
The eyes go down there, and the nose goes out. Two noses there. Mouth goes all the way up there.
And so, is that what you normally see when you look in the mirror?
Mhm.
And
Is
how,
it?
what you're going to see now, do you think?
But we're going to try it to see.
Yes, it's finally started.
What's happened?
It's finally better.
Well, look at it. And tell me what happens when you see your own face.
Yes! Yes, it's not down.
It's not down.
No!
You happy to do it?
Sure.
Yes!
Unfortunately, Ian has actually identified over 30 different distortions that people can be affected by, and there may be more. Can you imagine how terrifying the world must seem to some children? It certainly explains why they don't pick up on facial expressions, doesn't it? So next time, when your child seems to fumble with something, can't do their shoelaces, or seems perhaps frightened in what is a seemingly ordinary situation, please remember he is probably, or she is probably, not actually seeing what you see. Thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.